But Sam, you just made a video about the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus saying that they're basically iPhone 7Ss and that you might as well just wait for the iPhone 10. Yeah, I know. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the newest, best iPhone that you can get right now. So why wouldn't I get it? I'll explain in more detail in a sec, but first, let's unbox this stuff. I get a new iPhone every year, no matter what. This started way back in 2008 when I got the iPhone 3G. I went from the 3G to the 3GS to the 4 to the 4S to the 5 to the 5S to the 6 Plus, and then traded a friend for his 6. Then got the 6S, then got a 7 and 7 Plus, and the 7 Plus is so big, and now I'm on an 8 Plus. Why am I on an 8 Plus? Because this is technically the best iPhone you can buy right now. It is the newest iPhone with the dual camera system. When the iPhone 10 comes out, I'm going to get that, and that is, in my opinion, going to be the best iPhone. It's smaller than this, and it's got the dual camera system, and this video is not about the iPhone 10, so back to this thing. This is a 256 gigabyte gold iPhone 8 Plus. And when I say gold, they've never made a phone that's this color gold before. Here it is next to my iPhone SE. The iPhone SE is laughably smaller than the iPhone Plus size. And notice how pink the SE looks in comparison to the gold iPhone. People were saying the iPhone SE is like a pinkish gold. I think this is more of like a creamy gold, if you will. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, I said this in my last video, different than the previous generation devices that have this body in that they have glass back and fronts. And the glass back does one thing in particular besides being super grippy and scratchable and breakable and fingerprinty, is wireless charging. A quick thing on the wireless charging. Yes, it works with a case. Right now, as it stands, wireless charging just works. And it's about as efficient as the brick and lightning cable that come inside the box, 5 volts. I'm told that a software update is coming that'll bump the voltage to 7 volts, and that'll allow faster wireless charging. I didn't say this in my last video, but the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus also have fast charging built in, meaning you can charge from 0 to 50% in just 30 minutes, but you need special equipment to do so. The iPhone does not come with what you need to fast charge the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. You need a bigger brick, and then you need a USB-C to Lightning connector. For now, I'm going to stick with my Mophie wireless charger. I'm gonna leave it here at the studio, and when I come in, just drop it on, and it just works. It really does just work. And yes, Android people out there, I know y'all have had it for years. It works on the S8 and S8 Plus. I'm glad that Apple went with the Qi wireless charging standard, because you can buy a Qi wireless charger and it'll charge all of your wireless charging devices that use the Qi standard. That's great. The iPhone 8 Plus is huge. The iPhone 6 Plus, 6S Plus, 7 Plus, they're big phones. 5.5 inch screen with bezels. This thing is a refrigerator in your hands. So why'd you get the big one, Sam? I had to have the Plus, like I said, because the Plus has the dual camera system. The regular version doesn't. Now you'll notice I have a case on here. This back is so super scratchable that I think I want to rock the case, even though I never rock cases. I want to protect this thing. It is a top of the line iPhone, and if I drop it, I want there to be at least some sort of protection. Even though Apple says the glass on the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are the strongest ever in a smartphone. It's Corning glass. I just know that iPhones shatter. And now there's twice the opportunity for you to shatter something on your phone now that the back is glass. And I've said this on Twitter, I said this in the last last video, I love the simple branding on the back of the iPhone. Very cool that Apple and the FCC were able to agree on the phone just saying iPhone. And the branding on the box also kind of just says iPhone, and I wouldn't be surprised if Apple just calls the iPhone next year when the new iPhone comes out. But what are they gonna do if they do another iPhone 10? Right? Are they gonna do just iPhone and then iPhone Pro? I don't know. Yeah, like what if they just got rid of the number and then called that iPhone and then called the 10 successor the Pro? So the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, they have a home button with Gen 2 Touch ID. They have a lightning connector. It is very much a successor to the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. Now I'm gonna talk more about the phone and the software in a second, but I'll say this. The 8 and 8 Plus to me feel like if you were to say this should be a 7S, no, this is definitely the iPhone 8. I think it's somewhere directly in the middle of those two. I'm gonna use the iPhone 8 Plus as my daily driver. I've got my SIM card in here, but I'm definitely camping out for the iPhone 10. I'm gonna swap to that when I get it. The True Tone display of the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, I think are one of those minor improvements that you're going to just get used to after like a week or two of using the device. And then when you look at someone else's iPhone, it's gonna look like really bright and blue and odd to you. It's kind of like if you've ever had Flux on and then you notice that it's turned on because you're like editing a video at 11 o'clock at night and then you turn off Flux and you're like, oh my God, the light. I feel like it's gonna be kind of like that. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus have Apple's new chip called the A11 Bionic. I'm using this thing. It feels just as snappy as when you get a new iPhone, and it's super fluid and fast. Honestly though, my iPhone 7 still feels pretty damn new after a year. Granted, I've restored the operating system, but you'll notice the performance again. I said this in my last video. When you really throw heavy things at it, augmented reality, gaming, streaming video, this thing is gonna handle all of that with ease. And again, every single year, the iPhone gets a new chip and it's the fastest. So what else is there to say about the A11 Bionic? That turned off. Did the battery die? No way. Damn. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are running iOS 11. I did a video on iOS 11 when it first came out back in June. I'll link that video in the description below. There's been some changes since then, but for me, the standout feature in iOS 11 is by far screen recording. And yes, Control Center's been redesigned. There's other UI tweaks, but again, check out the video in the description. That should tell you quite a bit about iOS 11. I think one of the highlight features in the new iPhones are the cameras, and this is the same every single year. And the 8 Plus is no different. This has the dual camera system. There are new sensors in here. There are refinements across the board. Now, I just went outside to grab some food and I shot some photos on the iPhone 8 Plus, and damn, I am impressed with this. The thing that I noticed mostly, and I haven't used it that intensely yet, but the color reproduction on this camera is unlike any iPhone I've seen before, particularly this shot of this man. His hat looked exactly like it does on this photo. Blues and purples are kind of hard for cameras to reproduce, and this thing does a pretty good job. And also look at the Jumpman on the 4s, how red it is. Some people say it looks oversaturated. I think when you're dealing with describing quality of things, everyone sees things differently. Like, what does chicken actually taste like?
You take chicken, for example, maybe they couldn't figure out what to make chicken taste like, which is why chicken tastes like everything.
But case in point, to me, Sam Sheffer, as someone who's had every iPhone besides the original one, and I guess technically the 5C, this camera is incredible. This does 4K at 24. This does 4K at 30. The iPhone 7 and 7 Plus did 4K at 30. And this does 4K at 60. I think it looks pretty damn good for a phone, and I am so excited to put the iPhone 8 Plus in the DJI Osmo Mobile and film some epic 4K video. I will film a 4K iPhone 8 Plus vlog at 24 frames a second so you can see what this little beast is capable of. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus also do 1080 at 240. I have not tested that out yet. You definitely want to stabilize for that and have really good lighting conditions. Another highlight feature of the iPhone 8 Plus in particular is portrait lighting. And I explained this in my last video. You can manipulate the lighting while you're taking your pictures. It definitely looks processed, and that's because it is. It almost looks like a glorified, beautified Photoshop kind of thing. I haven't done extensive testing with those features in particular. Here are a couple shots of me in the studio using the different versions of portrait lighting. Let me know what you think. I still think it kind of looks like a little bit oversaturated Photoshop-y, but I want to do more testing with this. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, one other cool thing in iOS 11 is the one-handed keyboard. I love this especially because the iPhone 8 Plus is just so big. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus are 25% louder. The iPhone speakers have never been good, and I think this is the first time I'm comfortable with saying these phone speakers are pretty decent. Check this out. I guess you can consider this my one-day review. I'm very familiar with the iPhone and iOS. This is not my full review, but I have a feeling I'm going to like this iPhone because it is the new iPhone. I'm not going to enjoy the size. I'm going to enjoy the camera and the battery life of the Plus, which quickly about battery, it's the exact same as the iPhone 7 Plus according to Apple's website. But the Plus battery does and will last longer than the standard iPhone's battery because it is just bigger. I'm gonna keep making videos about the iPhone 8 Plus now that it is my daily driver. I wanna do extensive camera testing, like I said, put it against other devices, and then that 4K 24 frames per second vlog with this and the Osmo Mobile. That'll be a fun one. And if you just found this video in recommended or someone sent it to you, my name is Sam Sheffer. I make tech videos here in New York City. Be sure to leave a like on this video if you found it useful, and definitely hit that subscribe button because I'm going to continue uploading YouTube videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.